Ahsoka's episode titled Shadow Warrior left many to speculate exactly what the lesson was that Anakin talked about, specifically to live or die. This episode is completely up to interpretation, and I love this side of Star Wars. It's not well defined, and you're not spoon-fed the true meaning. All of us are able to interpret our own feelings on the teachings based purely around our own perspective. So I'm going to tell you mine, and I want to hear your own thoughts below. Let's discuss. Now, what exactly was Anakin trying to teach her? He states to live or die, and immediately starts attacking her. I think for him, as her master and someone who has ascended into a far more important role within the Force, he's able to see what's been going on with her. He surmises that she has lost her will to fight, and that she is in this gray place, not feeling like the warrior she was made into. So what does he do but attempt to bring that fight out of her? They duel until he sends her back into her memories during the Clone Wars. We see some action and fighting, but one of the most heartfelt parts of this sequence is Ahsoka and the injured clone. Because we gotta remember, this is old Ahsoka who has experienced everything up and beyond the fall of the Republic. More importantly, Order 66, a moment that showed her and Rex that all those battles and all those dead clone brothers were in vain. Her reminiscing on that fact that they lost so much is deeper than just one singular battle. It's her talking to Anakin about all that they had lost. But this leads Anakin into his discussion of the Jedi. I think it's really cool at this moment that Anakin talks about the role of the Jedi to be leaders. The Jedi were always meant to work for the betterment of the Republic and the galaxy as a whole, but they weren't infallible. They made mistakes. So Ahsoka sees her beginnings into her warrior's path being a Jedi during the Clone Wars. She isn't just a peacekeeper, she's a fighter. And if she doesn't fight, well, she dies. The final memory she experiences is the Siege of Mandalore, giving Anakin the glimpses of the warrior she has become, someone who can survive in the most deadliest of places. She's not just fighting droids, she's fighting Mandalorians, some of the toughest in the galaxy. But this is where it gets interesting, because I believe it's at this moment that Anakin realizes Ahsoka's block. She can't find her will to fight because she holds fear and guilt over her legacy and that of her Jedi Master, Anakin. This is a feeling that Ahsoka has been dealing with all the way back in Season 7 of the Clone Wars, right before Order 66, where she questions her place in the Clone Wars and the Jedi. Even more recently, in The Mandalorian Season 2, she says, "I've seen what those feelings can do to a fully trained Jedi Knight, to the best of us." This fear has been gnawing at her for years, and then Baylan comes along. It was during her duel that Baylan triggered this fear in a way that crippled her resolve. Using psychological warfare and reading her thoughts, he found the one thing that would break her will, the idea that she is a part of a legacy of death and destruction, just like Anakin. Anakin then points out that she is more because he is more, but she doesn't listen and can't get past it. Her fear of the dark side, of his dark side, and her falling down the same path. So he goes back to the beginning, live or die. But this time, he confronts her fears, showing her the dark side of himself that she so deeply fears becoming. They duel, and Anakin brings her to the point where she can give up and fall or fight back and survive. During this moment, she embraces her fear and confronts it herself. Could she avenge her master? She said she would because she doesn't believe Anakin could have become Vader, and yet he is standing there in front of her. But she withholds the killing blow. She embraces Anakin's teachings, that of a Jedi. She does not strike him down in her anger. She falls back to his teachings in the Jedi way. I think, like many are saying, this mirrors Luke's decision not to kill Anakin in Return of the Jedi, by both resisting the dark side and then casting aside his lightsaber. Just like him being a Jedi like his father before him, Ahsoka is a Jedi like her master before his fall. That final moment is so powerful, and both Rosario and Hayden act it so well. You can see so much happening in just their faces and the looks they are giving one another. Anakin then steps back and is at peace again, showing his control, showing his balance. But I think both the imagery of Anakin and Darth Vader were used mainly to confront Ahsoka's fear and what her master had become. For a time, I don't believe she could reconcile with Anakin being Darth Vader, and it terrified her that he fell and made her fear it for herself. Just like Yoda confronting his dark side, Ahsoka has to confront hers. Anakin vanishes, and Ahsoka is reborn as Ahsoka the White. Her light restored, the Jedi she was trained to be is back. This moment is so powerful and so significant because she has been on such a rough journey ever since she left the Jedi Order. She lost faith in the Order, reluctantly came back to free Mandalore from Maul, discovered Darth Sidious's plan for Anakin, experienced Order 66 and barely survived alongside Rex, and then spent her time on the run until she joined the rebellion. But by that point, she's still not the Jedi she was. She doesn't even consider herself to be a Jedi. It takes years for her to break through her mental block and not allow her fears to control her. And it's all thanks to one final lesson from Anakin, her Jedi Master and friend. Again, one of the coolest things about this episode is how much is left up to interpretation. There have been so many good takes online, and people have been discussing some fantastic points in regards to Anakin's lesson for Ahsoka. Personally, I think I rambled enough for my take, and I hope it made sense, but I want to hear your interpretation of Anakin's lesson. What did it mean? Is it simply to fight, live or die, or is it deeper? Beyond incredible that we got to share this moment in Star Wars together. The imagery and storytelling is at a level that this franchise is known for, and I am grateful to have experienced it. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. All fans are welcome. Make sure to blast the like button on your way out. That's all for me today. Have an amazing day, and may the Force be with you.